Yo, what is good, guys? Pretty important video here today. We're going to be taking a look at the macro scale and the micro scale. You have a lot of significant events coming up and taking place. You had the Fed meeting today. The Fed did a 75-point basis hike. You had GDP numbers coming out tomorrow morning. You had Meta reporting earnings in after hours today. So a lot of stuff is going on. And make sure to watch this whole video because I got a lot of important stuff to show you. So you can know where we can go, where we're going to go, just the whole picture. So make sure to show this video some love, give it a like and subscribe, and let's just get into it. So, today on SPY, we produced a very wide range here with this expanding triangle, and we broke out and we went flying to fill that gap on SPY, the main gap. So, we're really going to be taking a look at some big trend lines here. Just you'll see. Stick through this. I promise you, there's a lot of important stuff on this. So, where did we bounce from? So yesterday, we ran into a lot of trendline support too. They were not easy to find, but they came from all of these lows here, and you can see how they line up. They got a lot of touch points here, and here, I believe this one's, yeah, right here. So you can see we produced a very significant bounce from this area, as well as the cloud, which I pointed out yesterday. The 30-minute had a decent amount of support here. You bounced off the top of the cloud today, and you had a lot of support yesterday, which I mentioned. You also were pretty oversold on the shorter time frames, and we got that bounce. So where are we right now? We hit some more resistances. We hit that gap, which I've been watching for a few weeks now. Everyone has been watching for that gap, and yeah, so this is where we're sitting at right now. We're going to take a look at a possible rising wedge, which I've talked about in the past, especially there was one right here where I called out this drop all the way to the 370s, and I bought at 365, which was a target I had since February. And if you don't know, I sold last week or earlier this week at 396 on this day, because I was expecting a fake out gap fill. We got that drop. I sold some of my short positions on semiconductors, and here we are now, getting this bounce. So there's a lot of stuff we're going to look at. I'm going to try and go over as quickly as I can while giving you everything you need to know. But I have a whole list here. We're going to take a look at this macro scale first. So let me clear up all these trend lines just so I can make it a little more clear. But there's this falling wedge that I've been watching for almost, I think, several months now. If you've been watching my videos, you know what I'm talking about. But here it is. So this falling wedge, this is a very, very big pattern here. This has taken months to form, and here we are. So the rising wedge, you got your fib target, the 0.382, 50%, and the golden pocket. And right now we're at that first target. So technically we may have finished this pattern already. You broke out of it, you've retested this trend line, and you got that big bounce. So we rode the whole way up, made really good money on that, and now it's a pivotal area here. We're gonna take a look at the weekly quick, because there's some big things on this as well. The MACD is crossing over, and a MACD crossover on the weekly is very significant. It can produce extremely powerful rallies or extremely violent drops. And let me put it up quick. So MACD, the MACD is very close to crossing. The week is not finished, so I don't know why it keeps disappearing, but let me put it back. Okay, so okay, now it's all messed up, so let me just hang in with me here. I don't know what's happening. So you are very close to crossing over. You have crossed over, but the week is not over yet. You have GDP numbers tomorrow, so that could reverse this thing, completely wipe out all the gains you made today. But the histogram is turning green. It has not done this since January, early January. So it's been several months, before 2022 started. So it's been a very long time since histogram has gone green, and the MACD has never been this low. So just something to watch. This is pretty significant. But we're just going to be taking a look at some more trend lines. I'm going to show you guys IWM quick because this is another big trend line. IWM, if this thing breaks through, the market's probably going to go higher. If it gets rejected, probably going to go lower. There's a big support here. So I don't think I showed you this. I might have forgotten, but if I did, I'm just going to put it back up on the cloud. So this is also where we got a lot of support from. I pointed out in yesterday's video, you had some short-term bounces and just a lot of support right here. So that's where we got our bounce from. I just don't remember if I put that up, so that's why I showed it. If again, if I didn't put that up. So we're gonna move on to SPX now because there was some much clearer trend lines that I was trying to put on SPY that showed up much better on here. So actually quick, sorry, I'm gonna show you a pattern that I found today during the day in inverse head and shoulders as a possibility. So it may not be for certain, but regardless, you got to keep it in mind. Inverse head and shoulders, it's a possibility. So yeah, that's it for that inverse head and shoulders. I have a list here that I'm going over because of course I got a lot of stuff to show you and it's hard to remember everything. But so we're gonna go over some trend lines on here and then we're gonna go back on SPY and take a look at some big divergences and just some things with the RSI and MACD, as well as the Gann fan, which is also very significant. So possible rising wedge here. You know, there's this channel we've been watching, but also these are lines that I've had up for a very long time now, several weeks, few months probably. I don't even remember when I put these lines up, but we're at that top trend line now. So possible rising wedge. This is the big thing I'm looking at right now. You know, I've showed you how to measure these breakouts if they play out wherever this is drawn from. From here, you draw to where it breaks out from, wherever that is. You could be going to the low 370s. Now, there's a lot of stuff to consider in this area because you have a lot of upside on the weekly, and the daily still isn't showing bearish signals, which I've mentioned in my previous videos this week. So, just a lot of stuff to watch. There's a lot of volatility. I also mentioned in my earlier videos, it does not hurt to just sit out and watch because we're in a very volatile area right now, and there's a decent chance this move is coming to an end too. And we're looking at a reversal. You can look at my thumbnails. I said it's not time for new lows yet, and I'm looking for this breakdown soon, I think. Now it's very hard to say this because the momentum is very strong right now, and I think the area to the upside we're looking at is I've mentioned it in my previous videos, 407, which is a very significant fib level, to 416, which is another important area with a lot of trend line reactions. So yeah, if we break up higher to the upside, that's probably where we're going. But the reversal, this is what I'm looking for. A lot of the stuff I'm seeing with just we are pretty overextended. We got some catalysts coming up. Now so far earnings have been decent. They haven't really made sense as they've been reporting misses, but somehow they're all going green. Google, Microsoft, they went green after dropping red. So a lot of weird stuff going on. I'm not really sure what's going on, but that's the kind of market we're in. So GDP numbers, I think, is a very big catalyst that could send this shooting right back down very quickly. Now there's a chance, you know, it's likely it's going to be negative. The White House basically changed the definition of it, saying 2 negative GDP reports in a row is not a recession, even though it always has been. But who knows? Maybe it's red, we rally. If it's red, we drop. A lot of possibilities here. So if this is a rising wedge, you know, we're at the top. We're pretty much at the top here. You filled that gap, which was the main thing I was looking for. So I don't see any more incentive to go up. You got a gap at 430, got a gap at 438 on SPY, but it's got a big range right here. So there's a lot of things to consider. But medium time frames, it's showing a pretty solid chance of reversing soon. You're sitting at a lot of fib levels that produce powerful reactions. We're going to go back to SPY now. I think I showed you everything. This is just the big pattern here. This channel wedge, I'm also going to put it up on SPY, but specifically, this could be a rising wedge here. And it's a little messy, especially with this, but I think it's clear that this is a possibility to keep in mind because, you know, something to keep in mind. we played one back here, got a huge drop. So it could be what you're looking at again. Big rising wedge. So back to SPY. I'm going to show you some divergences on the MACD and the RSI mainly. So the MACD, the 1 hour. So let me take this off actually. So okay, so let's put up the MACD here. So this was a big thing. We got a breakout basically. So this is actually where I pointed this out in one of my earlier videos. The MACD was approaching this breakout area, which could produce a rally. That's what we got, and we've been producing big divergences here on the medium time frames, as well as the RSI, which I'm going to show you something. This is pretty crazy, to be honest. You'll see. Let me put it up quick. So on the 1 minute, yeah. So 1 hour, sorry. We are at this pretty big resistance here. So we actually got rejected off of it right away, but that's just something to watch. You know, you also got a divergence right here. Went a little higher while the price was going. It went a little low while the price was going higher. So something to note. A lot of things to note here because pivotal areas. I'm saying GDP numbers, big catalyst. So another thing, the 1 hour RSI divergence, the trend line. I showed you IWM and the Gann fan. This is another big thing. I'm going to put this up and then I'm going to show you a big reaction we had with the moving averages. So moving averages, let me put this up. 50-day, 200. The daily, you know, yesterday I was talking about the 50-day moving average. Big spot here. That's where we bounced off of. We bounced off of a lot of stuff yesterday and this morning. But gotta bounce off of that. And where are we sitting right now with this Gann fan? We closed right on top of it. Right on top of it. So this is extremely interesting. This line is something you really want to pay attention to, because what has happened the last time we've reacted with it, we broke it, we jumped up pretty hard here, we broke it, we fell, wow, big drop. Same thing back here, you got rejected off of it, you came all the way back down to that line. So it is a very pivotal level that you want to be paying attention to. And I've showed you all these trend lines that have to do with this top range here. And I'll just put them up here so that you can see them. Mainly that one. You have this one, and these were the ones that I had on SPX. They were just very relevant. So that's why I showed you them on SPX, because they were a lot more clear. So go back to that part of the video and watch them so you can see them again. But yeah, anyways, you were at a big spot here. Possible rising wedge, a lot of resistance and trend lines. You're at the top of this Gann fan. The fibs, it's a little overextended right now, but the daily and the weekly show possible upside. So that's really all I wanted to show you. If you're curious, I'm gonna go over SOXS quick. We bought in back here, we sold at the top, we saw a double top, and this thing has gotten absolutely annihilated. And we also saw this on SOXL. You know, I was looking for this retrace, a possible ABC, which after you start a new wave development, but this is a possible double top too. So a lot of things to be watching on that one, but right now we're just sitting it out. We made our profits on the upside and the downside. So and oil, another big thing on oil actually. We're at that big channel I've been watching for weeks now. Especially if you've been following my videos, I have been following this for weeks. So possible head and shoulders here as well. If you can see this, head, shoulders, and crazy breakout. So a lot of things to be watching on oil all across the market, but this is the big thing. Tomorrow, GDP numbers, that's the catalyst. So tomorrow's big day. That's really all I got for this video. I showed you everything I wanted to show you. Trend lines. We got a lot of gaps below. If you aren't aware, I'll just put these up. But main gap here. You got a gap down here. You have gaps all over the place. Gap here. Another gap above this one, as well as the gap we made today. So now that we filled this top gap, you got a lot of incentive to move down and fill these. So I think the odds are pointing to downside. GDP numbers will probably give us the big move here, but we'll see how tomorrow goes. Yeah, that's all I have for this video, so peace out, guys.